Skate Date.
Skate Date?
Skate Date. So what is Skate Date?
Skate Date is a podcast brought to you by two roller skate bays who are in love and extra AF.
Yeah, so extra. And we're just like, where can this extraness be channeled into?
A podcast.
A podcast is a great idea, so let's do it.
Exactly. We like to talk about not only roller skating and roller skate culture, but we talk about what's going on in the real world as much as we talk about the real world, from anything that we just are very opinionated about or things we experience personally and we know you do too, and you just need a place to come and relate. Or you're like, what's the drums in the skate community? Or I just need to know what's new in the skate community. We got you there too.
Or if you're like, I just wish that I had more friends to hang out with and you want to hang out with us for an hour every Wednesday. We're here for you.
We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
We're your skate date every Wednesday night.
Yeah, so who are we?
I'm Shove.
And I'm Rebel.
Together we're Shovel.
Can you dig it?
All right, this episode, we're going to be talking about pettiness.
Pettiness. We're going to talk about pettiness just in general, and then we're going to talk about giving credit in the skate community and just in any community, honestly. And yeah, and then we have some questions and some skate date stuff. How you feeling today, babe?
I feel pretty good. I mean, it rained today. I had plans for the weekend to go to the Madonna Inn. It got canceled. Then I was like, it's cool. I'll just skate on the ramp. And then it rained. And I was like, So then I powered through and I cleaned this whole garage. And it's amazing now. And I love it. And I feel like a feisty redhead because I stole your wig.
Yeah, I'm real mad about that.
And I've gained like thousands of followers really quickly like this month. Thank you all. But with that came not one, but two trolls that like to fat shame me today. So for that reason, I am wearing my fat bitch shirt today, and I am not editing any curse words out of this episode.
So fuck it. Someday when we get monetized, this episode won't count.
Watch it be like the one episode that takes off. So if you're watching and you see that I have this lovely old dingy white t-shirt that says fat bitch on it in 70s font, it's by Fat Girl Flow. People ask me all the time, and I already know people are going to jump in the comments and be like, where can I get a shirt that's proclaiming that I am a fat bitch?
To be honest, I really want one, but I can't steal your flow, so...
Well, first I'm going to ask you how you're doing, and then I'm going to tell you a quick, really funny story about this, the first time I wore this t-shirt in public.
Okay, sounds good. So I am doing okay. I am getting used to being in pain on my ankle. I feel like my kind of for the last week, definitely, just life has shifted a little bit. It's been way more focused on how can we take care of our body. So I just have been way less focused on work and everything else and kind of put everything to the side in favor of that. And so that's been interesting. And I'm just, doing the best that I can to make my foot better as fast as possible is basically where I'm at.
And I'm proud of you for taking care actively, because I suck at taking care, because a few days or 5 days after Rebel sprained her ankle, I decided that I should have a freak accident on my skates too while moonwalking, and a branch took me down and I smacked the back of my head onto the pavement and now have whiplash. I don't think I have a concussion, although the next morning I was very sure I was going to throw up, and I was like, this could possibly be a concussion, but I think I'm good. I have not massaged, drank enough water, or really rested my neck. Because...
Even though I've been bothering her about it for every day since then.
Yes, so that's why I'm like, good job, babe, because I just suck at taking care of myself, and then now she's injured, so she can't baby me and really focus on forcing me to take care of myself.
Yeah, I'm distracted by trying to do my ankle ABCs.
I know, everyone told me to do that when I had a sprained ankle, and I did it like 3 times and never looked back, which is probably why my ankle still hurts, so I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm doing it because I literally need to be able to skate until I die, and if not,
Definitely.
I'm just going to be so sad, so I'm really, really making an effort. So that's how I'm doing.
Okay, let me tell this really fun story real quick.
Okay.
Okay, so the first time I got this shirt, I was like super happy. Literally got it like towards early on in my skate like career. And it was the first time I got to skate Venice. And I was like, hell yeah. So me and Honey, the person that got me into roller derby, that we bought our first pair of skates together. And we were like, we should go to Venice Beach and skate. It's going to be amazing. Mind you, I was still like a baby, like skater in public. But I was like, gotta look cool. Gonna wear this badass fat bitch t-shirt that I got. Literally, I swear to God, as soon as we got on the boardwalk, every 5 seconds, it was like, oh, no, sweetie, you're not fat. You're beautiful. Oh, no, you don't got to call yourself a bitch. No, what's wrong with that shirt? All men, for the most part. Every woman, for the most part, was like, hell yeah, rock that shirt. That bitch, that's what I know what's up. Like, it was like female empowerment. But every cis man that saw me had to be like something like, oh, wow, don't talk about yourself like that. Or that's not true. You're not fat. And it's like, hello, if I'm choosing to wear this amazing shirt, I stand by what it says and I'm reclaiming its power. And I thought it was so annoying. And I remember my friend Honey, because she's way thinner than I am, and she was just like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, are you okay? And she would always say that every time we were out skating, because like people are just drawn to me and they just constantly say things. And she's just like,
that's true.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, I never want to wear this shirt to Venice Beach again, because it was like just too much attention. I was like, I can't. I got tired of repeating myself.
Yeah, wow. That is an adventure. I can't believe that was... But I love that story also.
Yeah. You know how Venice Beach is. Remember they taking pictures of us and our friend Jay like we were celebrities? And it was like...
Just because we were on skates. We're like, definitely not.
Yeah. But I think...
You know what, though? Okay, that's super fun. But, okay, speaking of, like, random new things that we've gotten... I think it's so fun that the skate community kind of right now is like pivoting towards accessorizing your skates.
Oh, yeah.
And like not necessarily in the like, oh, here's some new laces kind of a way, or like here's, you know, I don't know, different, not like different colored toe stops, stuff like that. But people are actually pivoting towards like, let me put patches on my skates and let me put charms on my skates. So anyways, these charms that I just got from Project Pinup are to die for. And I'm like obsessed with these charms. They are lollipops shaped like hearts with little like sprinkles inside them. And then they're a charm and you connect it to your laces.
I do have a major complaint about these though.
You can't eat
them. I want to lick it. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, every time I look at them, especially now that they're out of the package, I'm literally fighting the urge to put it in my mouth. Because it looks so real. And it looks like those cute little suckers you get that are always always at the grocery store. And they're always by the register. And you're like, ooh, so cute. Like, I should just grab one. But I definitely, like, Rebel has some earrings like this, too. But
I have a very strong... Okay, so, like, Chev's, like, addicted to eating cute candy. And I'm
addicted to eating, period. It's a coping mechanism.
Me too. But, like, I'm really addicted to, like, cute candy accessories or, like, details and stuff. And so these little lollipop charms... And then,
or these little gummy bears. Oh
out
my
of control.
gosh. Like,
out of control.
I want to stick all of them. So it's just like I threw a pack of gummy bears on my skates. Like, I felt like it's like treating your roller skates like a charm bracelet.
I never thought that I would be the person who was like really into putting a bunch of random crap on my skates. And now I'm just like, this is great.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Oh my God. I sent like a picture that Project Pinup had posted of like little rubber ducks, like the ones you take in the bath when you're a little kid. And I sent it to my friend Jess because she's obsessed with all things ducks. And I was like, here, look at these cute like skate charms. And then literally like I go back to look at the message and she's like, I bought 2 of them. And I was like, did you use code SKATEDATE? And she was like, I didn't know you had a code. And we're like, yeah, we have a code SKATEDATE. Save some money.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that she went and supported Heather, who also has these amazing Valentine's Day patches. I love the Spank Me one. It's like something that Rebel's always telling me to do to her. Where's the lie? And then, of course, the Babe patch with the lips. There's like so much cute stuff.
There's an XOXO one too, and y'all know that I can't live my life without putting XOXO next to my name.
But yeah, and then we've talked about Heather before in Project Pinup, the skate leash queen, because Heather fully understands that we stand a long skate leash in this house, and we love that it actually comes with the metal hoops to be able to lock them on there. So I love that. And that's the huge reason we are obsessed with Project Pinup and the fabulous Heather is because she makes things
by hand
us.
And for us.
By hand in Arizona. Handmade for us.
And ships them to us.
And something amazing.
Something really, really amazing.
Was made.
Like amazing.
Babe, grab yours.
Okay, which one?
Grab both.
Okay, ready?
On the count of 3.
Okay, we're going to reveal something to you.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh, for the listeners, they are Skate Date patches.
Oh my god.
Wow.
They look like Valentine's Day candies.
So if I was going to describe these patches to a listener, I would describe the first one as, well, they both kind of look like variation of sweetheart candies. You know, those little heart candies. There's one that is pink holographic, so it's light pink holographic. And there's one that is red, and it is embroidered primarily. So the pink holographic one, which I'm holding up to the camera if you're watching Skate Date, it just says Skate Date on it. It's a nice little plumpy little heart baby.
I love it.
And then the next one, it is a little heart baby. It's a red one. And it says, Be My Skate Date on it.
I love it.
So we're obsessed with them. We want to keep them all, but we literally can't because we need to keep our podcast going.
Yeah, give it to someone special. Like, you want to ask them to be your skate date.
Give one to your derby wife. Give one to your skate date, whoever that is. Whether that's your best friend, whether that's someone you just met, whether you just want to carry them around. And like, if you meet like a hot skater at the park and you like want to go on another skate park date with them, you know, bust out this patch and be like, will you be my skate date?
So
that would be so smooth. If someone did that to me and I wasn't dating Chev, I'd be like, oh my god, yeah. But also if someone did that to me and they were like, just as friends though, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Heck yeah. All right.
But you can, so anyway, so if you want anything from Project Pinup, you can use code SKATEDATE and you'll get 10% off. And then if you want either of these patches, where can you get them from, babe?
You can go to the Etsy on a skate date.
Yes, so we have a skate date Etsy called On a Skate Date, and that is where these patches are going to be. So you can check them out. This one is $12 and this one is $11.
Woo! Project Pinup by Skate Date. All right. So I know that was a lot. I hope you enjoyed it, but we still got a funny fake ad for you.
Because we know you love it. All right, so here we go.
Ever have a toe stop fall off?
Yeah, it came off right when I did a turnaround toe stop one time, so you can imagine how that went. Have you ever had a wheel fall off?
Yeah, twice. Once I was skating in the street and a wheel came off and we couldn't find the nut. So remember, you had to skate all the way home to get me one? Have you ever had your laces rip while falling?
Oh my gosh, when I first started skating, I was literally the queen of ripped laces. I had to start carrying around extras. Have you ever left your skate tool at home?
Don't even get me started. And it's always when you leave it at home that everything decides to come loose. For
real. I wish there was a solution to all this.
Well, good news, babe. There is.
Well, what is it?
It's a roller skate tool vending machine.
What?
I know, right? It has all the things you need conveniently on the side of the road.
So to get a new toe stop, all I would need to do is
swipe your card and hit B2.
Oh my gosh, dope. We should get one for our backyard.
That's not the point. We have all of our skate stuff here already, duh.
But I love vending machines.
Well, then I guess we will just have to go to the skate park or any popular skate spot to find one.
Great, let's go now.
Coming to a city near you soon.
Okay, but like, Okay, so my favorite vending machine, this is not petty, but like my favorite vending machine when I was growing up, I think we've actually talked about this. I don't think on the podcast though. My favorite vending machine was the ice cream vending machines. The ones that like you would like put in the money and then you would press the number and then it would have this like crane going and it was like,
I remember those.
And then the ice cream chest like opened up and it was like, and then the arm thing was like, and it was like a vacuum and it sucked up the ice cream and then it dropped on the thing.
I forgot about those. I haven't seen one of those in forever.
There was one of them at my high school, and every day when I was going to ballet practice, if I was able to like scrape up $1, I would get myself a Snickers ice cream bar. Good times.
Snickers ice cream bars are delicious.
They're so good. Anyways, okay.
Let's jump on into the real world. You know, we were in Derby with a girl named Petty Dreadful.
We were in Derby with someone named Petty Dreadful. And when you were like, we should talk about pettiness, we should talk about being petty, I was like, oh, petty? Like, Petty from Derby?
What is it like to be petty? No. Okay, babe. So, what is pettiness?
So, pettiness is like when something bothers you and instead of like directly dealing with whatever it is that bothers you or confronting whatever the thing is, you instead do small little things that make you feel better about the situation, but are meant to like annoy or make the other person like experience inconvenience.
It's like not, oh my God, it's not being passive aggressive, but it's like revenge.
Yeah, it's like slight things. It'd be like if I was to, you know, like hide Bowie's bone from him because it bothered me the way he chewed on it.
It's like if Rebel left all her clothes somewhere I like to sit every morning, so then I would leave a pile of my art supplies where she likes to work.
Yes. Or it'd be like if I know that it really bothers someone if I am eating something with a fork and then I scrape off the fork with my teeth.
Cringe.
And then I just randomly decide to do that whenever someone's making me angry.
Pettiness.
That's pettiness. That's not Merriam-Webster's definition, but it is shovel definition.
All right, Rebel. Babe, who's more petty, you or me?
You. 100%.
That's a lie.
No, what?
Yeah, I'm definitely petty and I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she is so petty. Like, most of the times I just let things like rub off me or like roll off me and I'm just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then she's like, no, like this is not okay.
Oh my gosh. So like, I think the most petty thing that I've witnessed so far this year was the inauguration, and that like Trump and his wife just dipped before the whole thing and Biden just had to let himself into his own house. Like,
yeah, that was super petty. And there are so many petty things that Donald Trump did during his time. There are so many directly aggressive things, but we're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about pettiness. But yes, that was like the petty act of 2021 so far.
Yeah, I heard like that he actually did leave a letter, how like they always leave like a note or a letter to the next president. And like Biden's like, oh, like he did write me one, but I'm just not going to talk about it yet. But said something kind of like, I don't know. Do you remember he said something like, that it was a nice note. I don't know, but I don't believe it. There's no way it was nice.
I bet you that it wasn't from him.
Someone else.
I bet you it was like his assistant. It was just like, I'm just going to write it. Like, this is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Side note, how do you think all these QAnon supporters feel? Because to be honest, I don't know if y'all noticed there in our comment section on that video that definitely a QAnon supporter left a huge comment on one of our episodes.
Yeah, and was just like, no, but y'all don't understand. This big event is going to happen.
A reckoning is coming.
It's bigger than anything we know, and child pedophilia ring, blah blah blah. And we're like, that is a lie. That was made up. That is not real.
Yeah, I was watching the CNN reporter going ham, like talking about like, oh, poor QAnons. They're all posting like, what happened? I can't believe I was fooled. It was all a lie. Like, no shit, you didn't know that was a lie?
Yeah, like that was definitely a lie.
Pizza is okay. It's not code for something else.
Yeah, like different types of pizza is not code for like different.
Oh shit, babe.
What?
We're probably gonna be on the list now.
What list?
On the pizza list. They're gonna be like, oh, yep, that shovel and skate date, they're part of the problem. Q is gonna come for us.
That's fine. Q is probably a 12-year-old in his mom's
Remember
basement.
what you said? You said that Anonymous.
Oh, I said Anonymous needs to just get on this and reveal who Q is. Come on, Anonymous, where are you at? You're always revealing all the stuff we need to know. Come on, I want to know who Q is.
Yes, please. Okay, let's head on back. So, Rebel,
Yes.
why are you petty? When you are petty, like, what drives you to be petty?
So just in general, I tend to be way more aggressive and blunt than Shove is. So I'm trying to think of, like, what I've done that's been petty.
I think you do petty things when it comes to, like, your mom.
Oh.
Like, you don't, because, like, you're afraid to be blunt with your family.
It's not that I'm afraid. It's just that I've realized it does not end well for me. And, like, with other people, it's like, I could be like, fuck you, and then just walk away. But with my family, they're like, let me pray for you really fast. And I'm like, no. Yeah, no. So I definitely think that with my family, I am petty. With my mom, yeah. I will just do things that I know she doesn't like. Just because I know it'll make her mad. Sorry, Mom. She does things all the time to make me mad, so I feel like it's just my way of just, like, releasing some of the tension, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's, like, the loosening of the valve that allows some of the steam to get out. Yeah, so that's the way that I'm petty. So what about you, babe? How are you petty?
I don't know. How long can we make this episode?
I mean, as long as you want, I guess.
So I think, some of you might be like, oh God, Shove's petty. I don't know if I love her anymore. And I'm like, at least I know I am. I'm not in denial. Like, if someone's like, yo, that's kind of petty, I'm like, yep, okay. Just like Rebel's aggressive. And I know it. And I still love her because she knows she's aggressive. Just be your true self, that's all I ask.
Be aware of your faults and, we all know how, like, what we're able to deal with in another person, and that's how we stay together.
Yeah, I think, like, I get my pettiness from a couple of things.
Your dad?
Yep. My dad is petty as
so petty. Oh my gosh.
He is, I will tell you the most petty thing he ever did to me. But I think it's a mixture of also my parents raised me to be, like, super, super polite and, like, this is how you act when people come over. Like, this is the way to behave. So, like, for me, when people are blunt and aggressive, I'm like, oh my God, how could you just say that? Like, how could you do that? Like, that's, like, embarrassing for me. Like, you don't just put your feet on someone's table or, like, their dashboard of their car, Dave. Especially, like, the first time you've met them. But, like, I think it's not, like, it's also, like, I think in Black families, like, we're always, like, carried with this, like, whole thing of, like, you have to behave. Politeness is, like, raised. And I think as we're held to a higher standard, and we really have to do that because we're already looked at a certain way. So it's, like, really important to be, like, you know your manners, you're polite, like, you go into the world and you act right. If you don't act right, we're beating your ass. Like, that's
yeah, and I honestly wasn't raised like that. Like, I was raised, like, be nice.
Yeah, so since I was never, like, blunt or aggressive with, like, hey, like, no, like, loud about what was wrong, like, I think that's where the pettiness came from, because that was my way to, like, be like, something's bothering me without saying something's bothering me. So it was, like, little things here and there. But yeah, so the most petty thing that my dad did was when I was in high school, my senior year, we moved to North Long Beach, but I was still going to high school in Compton. So I would have to wake up at, like, 5:30 in the morning just to get up, get ready, my little goth uniform, and I would grab something out of the fridge, eat real quick, and walk to school. Well, not walk all the way to school because it was, like, a city over. So I'd have to walk for 30 minutes to a bus stop, then get a bus, to the train station, take a train, and then take another bus or walk for 20 to 30 minutes again just to get to school on time. So in the mornings, I didn't really have extra time. And my dad one day was like, hey, like, you should be washing the dishes before you go to school. And I was like, but I wake up at like 5 a.m, like, to go to school. And like, you're cooking after I go to bed. Like, why is that my problem? Like, I didn't say that, but I was just like, okay. But like one day I was running a little late and I was like, I'm not going to be late for school to do these dishes. So, or I think, oh no, I washed the dishes really fast, but I guess I had left some like residue on the plates. So when I came home from school, there was a note that said, you better wash all these dishes and not leave a single crumb behind. And every single plate, cup, piece of silverware, hot pan was pulled out of every cupboard and drawer, layered on counters, in the sink, on the floor. And then he took cooking oil and drizzled it over everything, and then took flour and put the flour over everything.
What?
So everything was extra dirty and like crusted on and oily. So I had to sit there for hours scrubbing and rinsing and repeating and like eyeing it like a psychopath to make sure that it was clean. Like I was crying and shaking because I was so scared. And that's the kind of household I grew up in. And I remember just thinking like, that's what pettiness is. I think that was my first like, this is pettiness.
Oh my
And I remember
God.
calling my mom and be like, your husband has lost his goddamn mind. And she was like, I'm sorry, just make sure you clean them all.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he's the king of pettiness. For me, I think it's really just I don't know how to say when something bothers me. So then it comes out in these little ways that like, it's not passive. I know I'm doing it. I'm fully alert. Like, I'm going to do this because you did that and I didn't like it. And we already talked about it. So now I'm going to do it because I want you to feel what I'm feeling right now.
Which is just like ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, but like a lot of times people won't call you out on it. They'll just like do something again or like now they know.
It's just like a roundabout way to avoid confrontation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh
So
my
that's
gosh.
like my pettiness. It's little things like that. It's just little annoying things. Like I'm gonna like leave something where you don't want it, or at work, like little things. Like I feel like at work is where a lot of pettiness goes in play. Because like coworkers, you can't really like. I feel like it's a weird environment, so pettiness often comes out in workplaces.
Interesting.
Oh my gosh.
So, do we think that being petty is bad or good? Or do we have like a meter for how bad it is?
I feel
Or
like there's definitely a limit of how petty you should be. And don't just like make it be an endless cycle. Like you do something petty and then they do something petty back. And it's like tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat, back and forth forever. Then it's a problem. I think it's like a one and done type thing. And then if it happens again, then it's like, hey, we need to talk. You know what I mean? Like bring it up. I think pettiness can be an emotional release because some of us don't know how to just act, air quotations, normal and like healthy communication. So pettiness is our only way to get that emotional release for the frustration we're feeling. So I think pettiness is healthy to an extent.
I think that, well, for me, when someone is petty towards me, I'm aggressive enough that I just immediately will respond to it. I'll be like, did you do that on purpose? All the time with her. I'm like, did you do that on purpose? And she'll be like,
I lie. I'm like, no.
And I'm like, okay, you clearly did that on purpose. I think I've gotten past the point of like asking you.
Sometimes I'll say, and I'm like, well, I did it because you blah, blah, blah. But I think like I also need someone to literally ask me like, why'd you do it? So that way I have permission to mention what bothered me.
Oh, that makes sense. Because I feel like I've gotten to the point that nowadays I'm just like, okay, well, I know that you've done this, this, and this. And I don't know why. If you'd like to tell me, that's fine. If not, I'm just acknowledging that I know what you're doing and we can move on from this. Or
My favorite is like y'all listening if you are in a relationship. It's like, do we need to talk about something? And you're like, what? And they're like, obviously something's wrong. And you're like, maybe. After like a whole week of pettiness.
yeah, I do not like pettiness.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, any other thoughts in general about
That's all I have about Petty Town.
That's all I have about pettiness as well. Well, then let's move on over to the wheel world.
You know, I think you should always credit creators. It rhymes.
Yes.
It's not rhymes,
Credit the creators.
Credit their creators. Not just the skaters, but creators.
Yes. I think that this is, well, obviously we're putting this into the wheel world, so there's direct correlation to something that is going on in the wheel world at this exact moment in time. We're so on top of it. Literally, this will air a few days later, but literally this happened today, so we figured that we should talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you have a video, like your skate clip, all of a sudden pops up and everyone's like, oh, this is now like a challenge and we're all going to do it and everyone's creating it, then like, hey, talk about who inspired you. And I think a lot of skaters are being like, this isn't necessary. A lot of people do skate things and like they're not constantly crediting the first person that did it. Like it's just a trend, blah, blah. But I think that's weird because in like the beauty community, like the makeup community and hair community, every time you'll see it too. Someone will do makeup and they'll be like inspired by, and they'll tag either the artist or like the makeup artist that did it or the hairstylist. Always, if it's something that they didn't originally create, or even if it's like a slightly something they changed, they always credit it. And there's like major respect to that. And I think the skate community, not everyone does it, but a huge chunk of the skate community needs to realize that. Like, we're talking to you.
Yeah, I think that, I think we need to back up first and just say, like, as people who create things, even on the internet, like, we are all still artists, right? Like, we are creators, we are artists. We're not just content creators and, like, Instagrammers or whatever you're going to minimize artists and creators down to. Mm-hmm. And so I think that exactly what you're talking about the makeup community is something that happens within the skate community, because skaters will do tricks, or they'll do combos of tricks, or they'll use like a filter and then do it to a specific song and have like a certain style of dancing that they'll do on skates. And then they'll be like, okay, you know, I'm going to post this into the world. And you're like, wow, you created that. And then if someone else does that exact same thing and then doesn't say like, yo, I was inspired by this other person, then you're legit like plagiarizing their idea.
Yeah, we're talking about Priscilla, an amazing skater who also calls herself an artist. And this is why it's important, because she's saying, I'm not an influencer. I didn't do this for like clout. Like, this is my art. Like, for me, like, I'm a dancer and I dance on my skates and it's an art form for me. So she felt like her art got copied without any kind of credit. And the worst part was like, yeah, all these skaters were doing it, but then someone that has over 100,000 followers and is known with a history of kind of stealing moves and renaming them and taking credit for creating them, went ahead and did this challenge, and then like went ahead and tagged the singer Saweetie and didn't tag Priscilla, just wrote her name. Like, all of a sudden now you don't know how to tag someone, which was really shady. It's shady. Like, oh, I don't want to give this Latin American skater any credit for it. And then when Priscilla messaged her, it turned into this really cringe thing. And then that's who it was. Fucking straight up blocked Priscilla for seeing their conversation. And really, I think why she got angry that she screenshot the conversation, because it really showed her ass. And it showed the real her, not the TikTok, everything's perfect, pretty, filtered Instagram feed. It was like, this is who she really is.
Yeah. So then that turned into like people calling people out and people being like, hey, this is actually a really important conversation to have, which I think is where I'd really like to focus this conversation on, is how are we, when we are posting things on the internet and when we're just creating things in general, how are we respecting the people that came before us? Because whereas I might have one or two completely original ideas, a lot of my ideas are built off of a history of other people who have had similar ideas or had ideas that I've been inspired by. And I think that I'm definitely guilty of this. Like, I will make a video and I will like give credit to a person that maybe I was inspired by, but it's just because I hadn't thought about it. And I think that this is a good time to like recenter ourselves on how are we giving credit to the people that...
Yeah, like something cool that happened today, and I don't know if it was just out of her good character, because she is a good person, or if it was because of what's going on right now on Instagram with this drums. Just Seconds Jazz, like, did, like, a little reel where she did, like, match her outfits to her skates, and it was super cute, and she was, like, inspired by Fat Girl Has Moxie. And I thought that was super cute because I did the real TikTok where I was like jumping into skates that match my outfits. And for me, like, honestly, like, I would have saw her video and not even thought anything about me because I'm just like, oh, that's super cute. But like, it also made me feel not respected, but like, oh, I see you and I see the hard work you did and you inspired me. So it kind of gave me this like feel good, like, oh wow, I inspired someone to do something. And I think that's also important. Like, it makes creators feel like this little fuzzy feeling like, oh, I'm inspiring people, instead of people just doing things that like, oh, I don't know, maybe they got that from me or not. Or maybe if you don't, you might not even care. Like, I didn't even like would have thought of anything about it. But because it was acknowledged, it did give me those great feelings, and creators really love that.
Yeah, and like literally, what's the harm in tagging someone? Like, nobody's gonna think that you are less creative or less talented or less, you know, whatever, because you were inspired by someone.
Do you think when someone like puts the name but doesn't tag them, do you think that's being petty?
I really do. I definitely think that that is pettiness.
Dang, going back to the real world.
Tying it back in.
Just side note, I have never followed this problematic skater because things have happened. But I did speak out about what happened and spoke up for Priscilla, and I didn't tag anyone, but then I somehow got blocked. So I'm blocked again by another problematic singer. Just want to throw that out there.
It's so random.
Yeah,
like,
and all day people have been messaging me like, I'm blocked too, I'm blocked too. All I did was say, hey, you should tag Priscilla, and then I got blocked.
So weird. Like, that's petty.
So something else that goes with like crediting skaters with things would be like tricks. So there's a lot of dance moves that have been created decades ago that have like little skate park tricks, whatever it might be, that already have a name, have been done multiple times. And like, I've been noticing the last year, like a lot of people being like, I made up a trick, and then giving it a name, and then being like, wait, that's something that I've seen like 100 times. Like, that's...
Yeah. I've seen that so many times this last year.
Say something, the comment gets deleted, or they're like, no, this is different because I like bit a little more. Like, what? No.
Yeah, I think that that's really weird. Like, we just need to know our history and like do your research.
Yeah, there's like so much, and be open. I think it's like, I think I could easily do something and be like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen this before. But I could post it and be like, hey, has anyone seen this before? Do you know the name for it? Like, can you just let me know? Like, I just did this, and I've never seen it before. And the community will tell you. They'll either be like, oh yeah, this person, and they'll tag and be like, has done it before here. Or they'll send you a video. Or everyone will be like, no, I don't think this is real. And then you can go to CIB, the Dictionary, and they'll tell you, and they'll put you in there if you invented it. There's like a process. And I think like with the skate community growing so fast, and everyone's so like freaking
excited
full of energy, and they're like,
stoked, yeah,
like super stoked. Like, I miss being a new skater and being like, let's go hard, let's try to create some new things. So I get it, but at the same time, you gotta like respect that there's like been a foundation here for years and years and years, and like even before us, like our parents were skating. So it's like these things exist, and like there's no harm in being like, I'm creating new tricks, but then you can't just like claim them. You gotta like reach out to the community and be like, yo, like, did I just do this? Like, let's let me know. Like, I'm really pumped right now. I think I came up with something new. Let me know.
Yeah, like, here is an example, going a little bit further back, but like, remember when the skate palette challenge was a thing?
Yes.
And everyone was like, the skate palette by, I don't remember who it was, but someone, do you remember who?
I don't remember who it was.
There was a skater, and they came up with it, and everyone was tagging that skater. And like, that doesn't make your skate palette any less cool. In fact, it makes you look awesome that you're like giving cred to the person who came up with the idea. And so if we could just take a page from that book and like copy it moving forward. But like, I think that something that I want to clarify is there are times in which you create something and it is very similar to what someone else has created and you literally haven't seen it and like, it's just coincidence. And like, that does happen. And that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like, you happen to scroll past someone and then a week later, maybe you made something that like was because of something that you had seen. And then you have been inspired by someone else. There is grace within this, obviously. And this is also like a growing thing, like something that we're trying to get better with as a community. So like, if I was inspired by someone or I saw someone do a trick and I don't remember who I was inspired by or who I saw do the trick, it's okay to be like, I saw someone do this. I don't remember who.
Yeah.
But like, if anyone knows, like, tag them. Yeah. Like, I do that all the time, you know? Like, I think that that's fine.
I think there's something even bigger to mention. Like, this is where I thought you were going, and then you went somewhere else, like, just as good. Let's say you're scrolling and you see something, you're like, hell yeah, that's cool. That's a cool trend. And you're not paying attention to, like, what people wrote, who they tagged. You're just like, hell yeah, I'm going to go record that real quick. I'm going to put it out there. Same music, same moves, blah, blah. And then you post it. Cool. Gets shit ton of likes. Gets reposted. And you're like, hell yeah. That can be okay. And you're living your good life. But as soon as someone comments or messages and they're like, hey, like, you might want to think about, like, crediting this person and adding them, or, like, this person started it and, like, you know, like, they're really sensitive right now. They really care that they get tagged. Like, do you mind adding it? Especially if the originator, like, messages you.
Just change it.
That's the pivotal point of what's wrong and what's right, is what you do next. Are you going to say, oh, shit, I'm sorry, let me tag you, I didn't even realize? Or you could be like, I don't think I need to tag you, sweetie. So,
there's a crossroads.
3, be petty and then put it in the title, but don't add an at. So people can't really find that person.
Yeah.
So it's like, there's these ways you can go, or you, like, you know what I mean? Like, just don't be a shit person. Like, we get it. We don't think all these things through, but you have an opportunity to fix it when someone addresses you. And like, when someone says, hey, that trick actually isn't a sexy walk. It's called the strut. It was invented by Star, not you. But you and your friends are going around, and now there's a hashtag called sexy walk going around when it's obviously the strut that a black woman invented. Then don't be like, no, it's the sexy walk. It's famous on TikTok. It's what made me. Like, no. Star taught you that. It's called the strut, and you know it. So then it's like, again, just how are you going to react? Are you going to be like, oh yeah, that's right, it's actually called the strut, sorry, like, blah, blah, I forgot. Something. Even if you gotta lie to save your ass, just fix it. Just fix it. That's all. Like, we get it. Things happen. We get caught in our shit. But when you get caught in your shit, it's all about that next step.
Yeah, and I think that advice is so golden. And, like, cross-applies to any time that you are called in or you're called out for any sort of behavior or any sort of anything problematic or something harmful or hurtful that you've done. That moment is the moment that determines what happens next. Yeah, like, and it's how you react.
Babe, you know what? I'm just, like, so frustrated of, like, how many of these problematic skaters out there that have problematic names, problematic behaviors, problematic practices, or just, like, past where they had to move to the East Coast, have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they have all this clout, and they're, like, #1 on YouTube, #1 on TikTok, #1 on Instagram, and they're shit people. And they're like put on this pedestal, like they're the actual leaders of the community, and like, oh, it's like their talent is so great and it just overshadows every bad thing they've done in the community. Why do you think that is?
I think that when the community grows in the way that it has grown, I think that the first thing that people who are coming into the community do is they turn to the people who have the most followers, because they assume that those people are leaders in the community. And usually that is the case. Like, usually people who have the most followers do have a lot of impact on the community. But they aren't necessarily like the culture setters in the skate community. And I think being a trendsetter and being a culture setter or a culture builder or a community builder are two very different things. And I think that the easiest person to find is the trendsetter. And so you find the trendsetter and you think, oh, this person like inspires me to be a better skater, or inspires me to skate in a certain way or something like that. And once you experience that, and when that's your first experience with skating, you tend to have these connections with them. You know, like you see them through rose-colored glasses because they are intrinsically tied to your experience starting skating, which is so magical. And so when a person is tied into that magical moment that you have, it's very hard to see things that they are doing that is harmful. And so I think the immense growth of the skate community within quarantine is what has led to this happening, because a lot of people aren't meeting people in person, and you get a different experience with people when you're skating with them as opposed to when you are following them.
Yeah, because online you only see what they want you to see. And I feel that's what's crazy, is I feel like the people that do have the largest followings don't really talk about anything except what they're selling, classes they're teaching, and really beautiful edited like drone videos of them like flowing down beach paths and cities and stuff. And like it's aesthetically pleasing. And we all know that's what does well on any social media platform, is like that's pretty, especially if they're skinny. Whether they're black or white passing or white, like that skinny, flowy, just, you know, like typical person skater, that's what's gonna trend. And that's what we're drawn to, because a lot of us are taught like that's what we want to be, so that's what we like to look at. But the ones that like I feel like I wish got the real like clout, as they say, or whatever, are the people that do like host rollouts, that do put skating shops together, that are like constantly trying to push mutual aid within the skate community, non-binary talks, like trans skater awareness and abled skaters awareness, and people that are constantly like putting it all out there and show you the good and the bad and ugly. Those are the ones that really struggle, and I think those are a lot of like the real leaders in the skate community. And like I know like y'all are probably like, well, you're just talking about yourself and blah blah blah. So I guess I can really admit that jealousy does go into it a little bit, because I feel like it's not really jealous of the numbers. It's like this thing of like, wow, like people really look up to someone that's like so mean in person, but no one knows because it's a pandemic and they can't meet them. It's like, I've gotten messages like these people are doing messed up things, and like sometimes I speak out and I like say like, hey, this person's being shady. Like, y'all know I post this stuff all the time. But not everything. Sometimes I don't want to get wrapped up in all the trauma. And it's just like, there's so many people that are seen as leaders and like have all this clout. And it's just like, don't do it. Like, they're actually really bad people.
Yeah. Or just doing things. They might be a fine person, but like they're just doing things that are really harmful for the community.
Yeah.
And not building the community up. And I feel like when you're given, and maybe this is just how I feel about like, I don't know, like I feel like with followers comes a responsibility, especially to the community from which those followers come from. And so I feel like I see my responsibility as building up the community and giving as much as I can to the community. And I feel like that there are just people that don't think that that's true, that they don't owe the community anything. Yeah. And I think that that's what differentiates a community builder as opposed to a trendsetter.
Selflessness. Because I think selflessness is like the opposite of college.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Humility.
Or people that see the skate community as just a business. Like, it's a way to make money. And, like, I see the skate community as family. Like, the family I never got to have. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's why we have such strong opinions about it, is because we do see the skate community as our family, and we feel like we are just as big of a part of the skate community as all of you are as part of the skate community. And I feel like we're all, one kind of. And so when one person in the skate community, especially someone that like I see constantly contributing and creating and building, like when they're hurt or when they're wronged, like it hurts me too. Yeah. And so I want to defend them. Like I want to protect skaters. Yeah.
Or like when y'all message us, or like I know when you message me and I'll reply back, and especially like if I reply back like that day or right away, like they'll be like, oh my god, you actually replied. And I'm like, yeah, like at the end of the day, I'm just a skater. I'm just like you. Like, I just happen to have more followers. And who knows how that happened. It just happened. I don't know. If I try to think about it too much, it actually freaks me out because I can't believe there's that many people watching me. I'm going to stop talking about it because I'll spin out. But anyways, I just feel like we're still just skaters.
Yeah,
we're real. Not even, like you see us, we're not even doing all this crazy stuff. Like, we're just like you. We're just learning every day.
Spraining our ankles.
We get hurt. We fall. We skate because we love to skate, and we love the skate community.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to...
Find your skate date.
Find your skate date. It's our newest segment on Skate Date Podcast. And what it is it is essentially like a ad for you as a person. And we want to help you find the person that you would like to go on a skate date with or multiple skate dates with. And that could be romantic. It could be platonic. It could be looking for just like a little zanga.
Oh my gosh. I started thinking about, there's this old movie from I think the 80s, and it's Madonna's in it. Like Madonna when she was like full on like corset and tutus and gloves. And it's called Suddenly Seeking Susan. Have you seen it?
Oh my gosh.
It's so good. The costumes are amazing. But it's like a singles ad, Suddenly Seeking Susan.
Suddenly Seeking Skate Dates.
Yes.
Yes. And so what we are trying to cultivate is a way to showcase you both on the podcast and also on our Instagram and help other skaters near you or other people who are wanting to skate near you to find you. So we are trying to be the OkCupid, platonic and non-platonic, of the roller skate community.
Yeah, so that way you can have like a social distance skate together, or maybe just follow each other on social media and open that relationship, that friendship, so that you can be ready when the world opens. Be like, oh my god, you live 10 minutes away from me and we're going to meet up at the skate park as soon as we're vaccinated and it's going to be amazing. You're my new skate date. You're my new best friend. Let's go.
So let's do an example for them. So me and Chev were just talking about how I don't make enough like friends. I tend to get really overwhelmed with my inbox on Instagram. And so it tends to get really, really stacked and I freak out and I send very short responses back because I have way too many messages. And then I log out of Instagram because I'm like overwhelmed. So I, Rebel, need close friends. in the skate community that
this isn't fake. This is real.
This is real. I'm doing a skate date. So I need friends that are just like people who I can skate with, people who I can talk to, people who aren't just like there to ask me questions. Although I love it when everyone asks me questions, but just people who want to be friends with me. If you are a person who lives near Long Beach, or if you're a person who lives a little farther from Long Beach and you want to be my friend, then you can Instagram DM me at Queer Girl Straight Skates. And you can be like, hey, Rebel, I heard your skate date ad. I would love to be your friend. And I'll be like, great. So a little bit about me. I am quirky. I like crafts. I often fail at things, but I can laugh at myself very easily. I enjoy a good sense of humor. And what's another thing about me?
Since she's really like quirky and full of energy, she really thrives around people that are more like me, like a little more like down to earth or calm. And then if you're like, I'm a little too calm and I need someone to pull me out of that, she'll do that.
Love that. Yeah. If you're that person, I want to be friends with you.
And she also likes people that like to challenge her skate wise. Like, so like if you're like, let's learn something new together. Rebel loves that. So it's like, I'm afraid to do cartwheels and I'm trying to work on it. She'll be like, let's do it together type of energy.
Yes, definitely that. I enjoy people who have skate like love, but also have other loves that they can also share with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I just want to be clear to my friends who are skaters. I'm not saying that I don't have skater friends. So, like, Jessie, don't get mad at me. And other people, don't get mad at me. I'm saying that I need more skate friends.
Yeah, a lot of Rebel's friends, the people that she clicks with the most, live in Chicago or freaking
Arizona
They're always
or New
far.
York. I always make friends with people who live in different states from me. And I think part of that is because I am very good at
abandonment issues.
I have abandonment issues.
A lot of times Rebel has made really close connections with people and been like, I think this is my new best friend, or like can start to be my best friend, and then they move away.
Yeah, it's happened so many times. I've literally lost count. So
if she makes friends with people that already are far away, then she knows it won't happen. The worst thing that happened would be the best thing, and they'd move closer.
So anyways, I'm looking for a friend who I could just call and talk to, or I can message randomly, and who would like to not just skate with me, but when the world opens up, to go dancing and,
arts and crafts.
Do arts and crafts and go on skate dates. So if you are my skate date, platonic. If you are my platonic skate date.
Yeah, we are not looking for a third.
We're not looking for a third. If you are my platonic skate date, then slide into my DMs. Queer Girl Straight Skates.
But don't slide too hard into those DMs.
Yeah, because she will come after you. Yeah.
I'll cut you.
Yeah, so that is an example of a skate date ad. So you don't have to go that in depth. That was obviously like super in depth.
Yeah, but just email dearskatedate
@gmail.com.
And you can also attach a picture, so that way within that week we can do a little post about you as well, so people know how to find you, know what you look like, and be like, I'm getting good vibes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that is Find Your Skate Date. Now let's move on to Dear Shovel.
So what is Dear Shovel?
So Dear Shovel is a segment of our podcast where we take letters from you, or messages from you, where similar to the Tales of Old that had Dear Abby columns, we have a Dear Shovel column where we give you good or horrible advice. That is the main difference between Dear Abby columns and us. And so we'll answer your question even if we know nothing about it. So if you have a question you want to ask us, you can email dearskatedate@gmail.com, whatever your question is, and we will do our best to answer it on this podcast.
Okay, so this one is super, super special.
We love it.
Because I might talk about some weird shit I did at this age that made me realize some stuff. Okay, so it goes, hello, I am an 11-year-old young lady wondering how you two ladies knew how you liked girls when you were younger. Have an amazing day. Love, Izzy.
I love that question because of its raw, true, straightforward nature.
Oh, to be 11 again.
Oh,
Preteen.
So how did you know that you liked girls?
I started doing some really weird stuff. I think okay.
I cannot wait.
So I would play in the garage a lot. I had I would jump rope in there and just hang out because I thought it was cool. And I was messing around going through my parents' stuff. And I found my dad's Playboy magazines. And I was roughly, I don't know, 11, 12. 11, probably 10, 11, yeah. And oh my god. So I find the Playboys and I'm just like staring at all these naked women. And I'm like, interesting. I kind of like this. So I took a bunch of them. I took like 5 or 6 of them and just smuggled them to my room. And I would put them in my backpack. And then I started going to my friend Maria's house. And I'd be like, Maria, look at these magazines with me. And then we would just look at them. And Maria would be like, oh, I wonder if my boobs will look like this when I'm older or this and blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, like, well, how do your boobs look now? And then, like, we would just take our, like, bras off, our little training bras, and then look at each other. And then, like, she was like, oh, my God, I know where my mom keeps her laundry. So then we put on her mom's laundry. And then, like, I'd be like, I dare you to kiss me.
Oh, my God.
So, like, we kissed. And it was really, like, I remember, like, not thinking about it for a while. And then having, like, a memory and being like, oh, yeah, that was definitely, like, fuckboy energy that I had as a kid. Like, it was just like, these are just friends playing around, right? And it's like, no, that was you being a little perv trying to, like, hook up with your friend.
Oh my gosh. You know what's funny is that I also have a truth or dare story from that age-ish. Me and my neighbor were best friends, and her and I used to make, like... So we used to, like, play truth or dare, and it was definitely, like, sexually suggestive things, and it was both sided. So it was not just me, it was also this girl. And yeah, and I remember not thinking that was like anything at the time. I definitely did not think that it was like my interest in women, but just thought that it was like, oh, let's think of all the like like, let's think of all the perverted things to do that line up with each letter of the alphabet.
Wow. So creative.
So creative. But yeah, as time...
so what was for A?
I don't know. It was a very long time ago. Like a very, very long time ago. And the kicker is my parents found the list and I was in so much trouble. I've never been in so much trouble my whole life. Oh my God, I was banned from seeing my best friend.
Can't believe you wrote it down. Hide the evidence.
Yeah, well, you can't just remember 26 things. So, yeah, I wrote it down. And, like, she had stuff, too. So her parents got all mad. It was really bad. Yeah, anyways. So,
wait, was it the friend that said none now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not that friend.
That'd be kinky.
No, yeah, that would be. And that is not what happened. Yeah, so that was probably my first, like, experience with another woman. But then as, like, I got older, I had all these crushes. What I did not know were crushes. They were me thinking that I, like, really wanted to be like someone or spend, like, a lot of time with another woman. And, like, to the point that, like, I liked how they smelled. Like, I wanted their hand-me-downs because I wanted to wear things that looked like them. Like, all this stuff that it's like, now I'm like, oh my God, that's a crush. You know, like, have you seen Florence Given's shirt that says, maybe it's a girl crush or maybe you're just
gay?
Queer.
Oh,
yeah, maybe you're just queer. And I definitely, if I had seen that shirt, maybe it would have, like, triggered something in my mind, but that was probably how I first knew.
I remember like really, really wanting to be someone. I think I just want to be her. Like, I want to be just like her. Like, changing my handwriting. Like, you mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she writes small, so I'm going to write really small. And, like, she wears her hair like that, so I'm going to try to wear my hair like that. Or she likes dresses, so now I'm not a tomboy. I'll start wearing dresses. And I thought it was just like, oh, I think she's cool, so I want to be cool. But it was really that I just, like, really, really liked her. Wait, I feel like we also need to say something real quick. I know people are probably like, you're answering a letter to an 11-year-old, but I need you all to think back about what you were like when you were 11 years old and your hormones started to kick in.
And you were just like, what the fuck is happening?
Middle school's are you already in middle school when you're 11? I can't remember, but middle school?
You're like on the cusp, I think. I think you're on the cusp.
Stuff gets really weird in middle school and you hate your life and everything's weird because your hormones are raging, pimples are happening, periods are starting, you don't know what to do. There's boys doing weird stuff too. There's other weird girls. All of a sudden people start being mean for no reason and it's all out like survival for some reason, and everything gets cliquey. Not everyone's friends anymore. You sit in a certain part of the cafeteria and you're like, how did I get here? It's the beginning of the real world. And I feel like we just gotta remember, like, this 11-year-old is going through some stuff and we all went through some stuff. And is this an age appropriate show for them? I don't know, maybe not, but it probably is, because guess what? All this stuff that's out there is way worse than what we talk about.
And you know what? I wish that I would have had someone to give it to me, like, very straightforward. Like, I wish that someone would have been like, yo, Rebel, you're gay. And I think I would have felt like a lot less of a loser throughout growing up, because I literally thought that no one liked me. Turns out I was just giving out major lesbo energy, and I just didn't know.
I just feel like you need to have that acceptance or to know, like, you need to have somewhere to go that's a safe place to ask about it, because how many people came out as bi over quarantine that were married to men or in serious relationships or, like, just their whole life thought they were straight. And then the time of having, like, enough time slow down, all of a sudden was like, my sexuality is not what I thought it was.
Also, I think that, like, you spend enough time watching TikTok and you're like,
all the thirst trap lesbians. But yeah, I just feel like you don't want to be one of those people that, like, finally accepts it and realizes it when you're, like, in your late 20s, early 30s, or super late in life. Because then you're like, wait, I was wrong this whole time just because I was like, no, I couldn't possibly be. So yeah, there are many signs that are there, but I also think there's number one rule. As soon as I first read this email the other day, I said, if you're already asking, then yes, you're queer. You're on the scale. Yeah. If you're questioning it, you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it might be hard and depending on your family and your friends, but you will be loved and you will find a chosen family. And if things are hard, it does get better. Don't be afraid. People will say that you're choosing a hard way, and it's not. You were born that way, and it's okay. Nothing's wrong with it.
Yeah, and just I wanted to circle back to what Shev was saying. Shev is not saying that it is bad if you are, like, older or in the middle of your years and you are coming out. She is saying that if there's a way to allow you to have that knowledge ahead of time, like the earlier, the more freedom you're going to feel in that. But if you're just realizing and you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s that you are gay, like, that's totally awesome and amazing, and allow yourself to come into that, because it really is a beautiful thing coming to know a different part of yourself that you didn't realize existed, and it can bring a lot of clarity and a lot of, like, peace within your heart that you might have not known that you needed, but it would really give it to you.
Yeah, I think, like, Gen Z is super, super lucky, because even though, I'm an elder millennial. I think you might be a regular millennial.
I'm an elder millennial.
Okay. I don't know, there's, like,
it's
a 4-year
literally
gap.
our 4 years.
Okay. So, like, how many years is it for a millennial? Like, where's the cusp for just a regular millennial?
I thought that 91 was the elder millennial, like 90, 91.
Okay, so I'm an elder millennial, and Rebel's just a regular millennial.
Reggie.
I think there is, even though it's just a 4-year difference, the disconnect is, for, like, my age, it still wasn't that open. Like, we didn't have gay characters on TV. And if we did, it was very, like, theatrical. They were never in love. There was always, like, something. It was just, like, a show, right? They weren't real people. They had no depth. It wasn't, like, something that was just everywhere. There was way more homophobia. It was just a mess, right? It was still a mess. And not to say, like, it's not still messy now. But I think, like, Gen Z is very fortunate because, like, there's queer representation everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's normalized now. And we have so many more rights. We're accepted. Non-binary was not a thing when I was growing up. No one was saying I'm gender fluid. No one was saying I'm gender fluid. It was like trans people were just finally starting to be recognized. Mm-hmm. So we're still growing, but I think Gen Z just gets to like pop out of the womb and be like, I'm here, I'm queer, and everyone's like, yes, queen. And that was not the case with millennials. So I think like we're just getting there. Like millennials were like the bridge to getting where we are. You know what I mean? Like, we're the ones that have all the trauma, and then we're like, we're going to join therapy and get on medication and try to fix it, but we're still, like, struggling with all this baggage. And Gen Z is already coming out, like, calling shit out that's wrong and still has a lot of anxiety, but they're, like, knocking down walls and fucking shit up.
All right. So that, I hope, answers your question. If you have a question for us, you can email us at dearskatedate@gmail.com, and we will answer your question.
Yes,
Moving on to our Apple Podcast reviews. We have a new 5-star review this week from Michelle, 13 Knots. They said, this is my favorite podcast and I never miss an episode. Content is organized. Shove and Rebel are so relatable. I feel like I'm hanging out with them in person, just listening to a conversation that I can participate in.
Aww.
Oh, and Shovel, you can always bring Bowie back for occasional segments when he does something that needs to be shared. Oh, that's really nice.
That.
Yeah,
I miss Two Girls, One Pup.
I miss it, but also he has still not done anything interesting.
But today, he did do something interesting, but we can't talk about it because it's a long episode already.
Yeah, we'll tell you about it later. But yeah, so thank you so much, Michelle. We really, really appreciate you. And if you have a moment and you have an Apple device, it was brought to my attention that Android people cannot do Apple podcast reviews, and we will figure out a solution for that. I have not yet come up with something. But if you can, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast. If you like us, if you really like us,
wait, I have a solution.
To stick around, what's the solution?
Can you like, comment, and subscribe to the Skate Date YouTube channel?
Oh,
that would also help us a lot.
Help us out.
You can still just listen to us on whatever station you like, but the more subscribers, if we can just get to that 1,000, we could possibly get monetized.
And getting monetized would be excellent. It would be really great. We would really like that. Yeah, so thank you so much, everybody, for listening to our podcast. We love you so much. We hope you're having a wonderful week and that you're taking care of yourself. And most importantly, be as petty as you want, but not too petty.
Be petty to an extent, but give credit where credit is due.
Ooh,
but most of all, do you, boo-boo.